In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a student in the Veritas SIS system. This is the home page that you come up to when you log into the system. As an administrator, you'll see this menu across the top from Home all the way through Tools. Pretty intuitively, where you go to set up students is on the Students tab. In this sub-menu, you'll see Student Info. This is what it defaults to. This is if you just want to look up information on a particular student. You could come down here and just type their last name and submit and get all the students in the list with that last name. But in this case, you want to add a student. So we'll click that sub-menu. And what comes up is this basic data information screen. You have general info, and then behind that we have addresses and contacts, medical, comments, and goals. Now I set the General Info tab up because that may be the only section we may choose to use at Veritas. You can custom fields, so if there is a field that you need that is not here, it can be added. For example, I added to this main General tab the fields for parents' names and home address. Otherwise, the address would be on the Address and Contacts tab and would not be visible on the opening screen. So I thought it would be very handy to just have that under General Info and have it come right up when you pull up a student's record. All you have to do to enter a student is fill in the various blocks. You'll notice some items in red, first and last name, and then some items with red asterisks. These are the fields that are required. It will not allow you to enter a student without filling in that information. So we'll enter Sally, student. The next field is estimated graduation date. You can add that if you like or leave it blank. For gender, we'll say female because this is a required field. For ethnicity, she is white, non-Hispanic. You can add a common name if you wish to, but Sally goes by Sally, so we'll keep that the same. Let's say her birth date is March. I'll just wing it here, March 12th of, we'll say 1990. How about that? So we'll select 1990, just select from the drop downs. Primary language, if we want to put that, we can. Otherwise, you can just leave NA. We can put an email. We'll say sally@hotmail.com. We'll put in a phone number of 614-123-4567. Her parents' names are Sammy and Sarah. So we'll leave that, and under address we will make it 123 Linworth Road in Worthington, Ohio. Underneath here you will see school information. You can add information here. The student ID will automatically be assigned, but you need to add a grade. So we'll say she is going to be in the 8th grade for the 2011-2012 school year. And under this option, you have a couple options here, but most of the time it will just be next grade at current school, meaning she will move from 8th to 9th grade next year. This is important when it comes to the end of the year and we roll records forward. This will tell where we need to roll Sally forward to. This bottom section is for access information. I would recommend leaving this blank as I don't foresee a need now or in the future of giving students access to this system. We'll primarily be reserving the SIS for the administrators and teachers, and potentially in the future parents as well. This final one under here option is disable student. If we were to check this, this would disable an existing student. It would take them out of the system but not delete their record. The nice thing about that is if this student was inactive for the 3rd trimester but then came back the following year, we could re-enable the student and not have to re-enter all this information. So pretty handy. And finally, enrollment information. This is where you would enter an enrollment date. Since Sally is starting at the beginning of the school year, we'll just let it go to the default. We'll click the Save button at the bottom, and we now have Sally students set up in the system. You'll see another option on the General page to come up over here and upload a student photo. Once school photos are taken, that may be something we also want to do. So when we print reports, we'll also have a photo. Now you will see you'll be able to access these other tabs: student, home address, emergency contacts, secondary emergency contacts there. Under medical, you'll be able to enter any medical information if you need to about the student. There's also a section for just general comments. And finally a section for goals if we're setting a specific goal for that student that we want to document. But I think most of what we'll need will be right here on the General Info tab. So now if we go back to Student Info, You'll see that Sally's record stays up because that's the most recent one that we had up, but in the future we'll be able to go back to the student page, and if we have multiple students, rather than scroll through multiple students, we'll be able to actually jump to their last name. So that is how entering a student works. It's important to get the students entered before we go to the scheduling tab and actually schedule them for courses. It has to be done in that order.